Hi guys, it's Robyn and welcome to my channel. Today on the Robyn's Nest, I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable all buttercream carved puppy dog cake. You guys are going to love this one, so let's get right into it. So for today's cake, we're going to be using 3 6-inch marble cake layers as well as 1 8-inch marble cake layer for the very bottom layer of our cake. And we're just going to quickly level these off, and don't they look super moist and delicious? And now we can start stacking and filling. So as I said, the 8-inch is going to be for the bottom of our cake, and we're going to want to center this onto our cake board and then add a nice thick layer of our white American buttercream. And now once we have that smoothed out, we're going to take our first 6-inch layer and we're going to place that on top of our 8-inch off to the side a little bit, leaving a little bit of an excess on our 8-inch so that we can carve a cute little tail from. Now, since this cake is going to be 4 layers and completely covered in buttercream, it is going to be fairly heavy. So we're going to add some supports inside as well as a cake board to help hold up the weight of the cake. And because this cake is going to be carved, we're only using a 4-inch cake board in the very center, so that way the cake card doesn't get in our way. Now once I finished stacking my 4 layers, I wasn't completely satisfied, so I'm taking my cake scraps and I'm just adding a little bit more to the top and onto the side, so that way we can carve a little bit of a bum and also make sure that the cake is going to be tall enough to fit all the cute little features of our puppy. And now we're just going to pop our cake into the fridge to firm it up a little bit in preparation for carving, and in the meantime we're going to make some black frosting. So I just have a tiny little bit of icing here, we don't need a whole lot. And I just gave that one good squirt of AmeriColor Super Black and mixed it up really well. Then I set it off to the side to process while we do some carving. So the first thing we're going to do is shape the face, and the very first cut I'm going to make is going to form the forehead. Then we're going to mark off where we want the snout to be, and then very carefully and gradually cut little pieces of cake away until I'm happy with the shape. Alright, now that we've established the placement of the snout and I've carved a good rough shape of how I want the face to be, now I'm going to start to work my way down the body. So we're not actually going to make the front legs out of cake, those are going to be made out of some buttercream later on when we're frosting the cake. But we are going to carve his back legs, and we're also going to give him a tail from that little portion of cake that you see off to the left side of the screen. So as you guys can see, I had originally started to carve his ears from cake, but I was having some trouble with my proportions and I needed to thin out his neck and his face, so I just chopped those ears off because we can make them with some buttercream. And I have to say, I think you guys will agree that looks way better and is actually starting to look like a puppy. And now it's time to slather this little doggy in some buttercream. So we're just going to take our small offset spatula and some more of our white American buttercream, and we're just going to give our entire cake a nice thin coat all over, and then we're going to use our flexi smoothers to get it nice and smooth, giving us a perfect base coat for our final coat of icing. And for anybody who might be interested in my easy buttercream recipe, you can find a link to that recipe in the description box down below. So check out the video, leave it some love while you're there, and if you try it out, let me know what you think. Alright, that's it for our crumb coat, but before we pop our pup into the fridge, there's one more thing I want to complete. We're going to pipe a big dollop of buttercream on each side of his head, which is going to act as the shape of his ears, and now we're going to pop our cake in the fridge to firm everything up really well in preparation for our final coat of icing. And while we wait, we're going to work on his cute little face. Now this part is optional, you can hand pipe everything out of buttercream, but I thought it would be a lot easier to get the correct shape for the eyes and the nose, so we're going to make them out of fondant today. So as you guys can see, I had made up a little stencil and I marked off the pattern onto a piece of fondant, which I then cut using a small craft knife, or X-Acto knife if you will, and now I'm just shaping the nostrils using my Dresden veining tool. Now once we're done with the nose, we're going to cut out the eyes using the same technique, and now I'm just going to paint on the inner portion of the eye, starting with a little bit brown around the outside, working our way to black in the center, and then we're going to finish it off with a few little strips of black fondant around the outside. And there we have it. They're done and ready for our cake. Alright, now that our cake has had some time to firm up, it is ready for us to start piping on some frosting. So I filled an extra large bag with some white American buttercream and a number 133 grass piping tip, which also works fantastic for fur, and we're just carefully piping this on all the way around our cake. Now this is going to take you quite some time and your hand may experience a bit of cramping, but I do recommend a few things as a remedy. First off, you can use a larger piping tip than what I'm using that is going to enable a greater flow of frosting without too much effort. Or you could also try using smaller amounts of frosting in your piping bag so you don't have a huge bag full of frosting to squeeze, obviously. That is going to help you in the long run to prevent cramping. Alright, so once I finished with the white, I switched over to some black buttercream. We're still using that same piping tip that we used for the white, but we're going to be piping this a little bit more strategically, giving her a dark nose, one fully dark ear, a dark inner ear on the other side, and then we're going to do some dark speckles all over the cake. Now, this cake is actually a replica of a dog that belonged to a good friend of mine who had unfortunately passed away, and they loved her so dearly she thought it would be a great idea to memorialize her for her hubby's birthday in a cake. How special is that? And it's easy to see why they miss her because she really was so sweet. Her name was Shelby and she looked like a little seal pup. She was just so cute and chubby and she loved everybody. She was so sweet. So I was really happy to be able to make this cake for them, even if it was a bit bittersweet. Well, that's it for our piping work, guys. Just a couple more little final decorations and our cake is complete, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about it because I think she turned out so sweet. Well, that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, you know what to do. Leave me a big thumbs up and leave me lots of love down in that comment section too. And if you guys haven't done so already and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to receive a notification every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.